Hello, Bozy here. I'm going to be playing some Battlefleet Gothic Armada. We've just had the Eldar patched. I'm a little bit late today. Been a very busy day at work, but time to chill. Just wait for the duplication of the audio to finish. That'll stop in a second. He says, but it still continues on. Right, that should fix that. So let's go do some multiplayer. I'm going to start with the Eldar. I had a little go yesterday when the patch came out. I have had the advantage of being playing them for a little while. Doesn't mean I'm any good with them, but I do know a little bit about them. Still trying to figure them out. I don't really think they are my cup of tea. I've been sticking with the fighter ones. But I'll put an Aurora in there. Maybe have a go of the pulse weapon. Now, the power I go for first on these is Val's Maneuver, because that allows me to instantly do a 180 spin with the ship, which I think can be quite useful for when you want to come in, hit someone, boost past them, do a 180 and get behind them. Possibly good against the Orks, but I don't know because I've only had a couple of games on these at the moment. Right, let's see what we get. Data Recovery Defender against the Imperium. Basically, I'm just going to run around like a nugget. I'm going to try and farm a little bit of renown on this. Looking at the speeds of the Eldar, they are 300. I will take a fighter. Can I ready up with that? Yep. So I'm going to have one ship. He's going to know who I am, and I've never tried this before, but if I do it, then it'll be a nice chunk of change I will make. They are very pretty looking ships, these Eldar. But we'll see how we do with them. Very twitchy to play. They're very fast indeed. So let's put the markers for the terrain on. I'm going to pick the middle of the map, and that way, depending on where he is, I can run any direction I choose. Don't think I'm going to bother with silent running, but I might. Let's see how it goes. I need to work on getting Eldar insults though, because I don't have any Eldar insults. So the first thing I'm going to do is get my speed up and head this way, because I can see over here he has fewer ships. So he's going to hit his turbo because obviously he wants to stop me. So I've got a 20-second cooldown on mine, so I'm going to try and head here and trick him. And that's... Oh, it's data. I'm a fool. I was thinking it was assassination. This is me failing again. But what I should be able to do is steal that data from him with a boarding action, which I'm going to try and do now when I sail past him. If I can get him just in there. Nope. So I need to turn my ship round. And oh, that's not a good bug. I've been taunted. My generators are down. I am not going to do very well at all at this. So let's try and see if I can steal that data back. But you know, with no shields, as Eldar ships don't come with shields, I would not be able to hold on to the data. So, good start of the day for me. Absolute epic fail. See, it's been a long day at work today. So I need to sit down, concentrate, and actually read what I'm doing today. But it's an introduction of how much of a noob I am, which I'm happily, well, I'm happy to admit that. But it's always good to start the day with a bit of an epic fail, and then presumably things can only get better. So I'll stick with the Eldar for a little bit. Like I say, I'm pretty pants with them. I'm not a fan of how fragile they are. The key is you've got to keep them moving. You get 80% chance of avoiding all macro fire damage. You can also upgrade the shields to make it a 90% chance, which basically, you know, doubles the defense you've got, because at the moment there's a 20% chance for it to take damage. Put that upgrade on, it drops to 10%. Right, data recovery, round 2. Now, I'm Eldar, so he can take the data as soon as he gets a line of sight on me. So, this is going to be interesting. He is Orks. He's going to know what ship I've got the data on. It's going to be a struggle fighting him. Now, I want to take him because he's got lots of shurikens. But he can lightning strike my ships, even with their shields up, with the way the shields work on the Eldar. And if you're fighting Eldar, you target the generators, and if you target the generators, you can knock the shields down with a lightning strike without firing a shot. And then, of course, they've only got 25 armor, and that makes them very vulnerable, because with the shields up, there's an 80% chance any damage is stopped. And with the shields down, or once you penetrate the shields, if they're still up and you successfully get through that 80%, the ship only has a 25% chance to stop any damage. All the other races are 50, apart from 25 on the back of the Orks and 75 on the front of the Imperials. So Eldar, ridiculously fragile. So we're going to try and run around here. I'm going to go with brace for impact because we're Eldar and I don't really want to get shot. But we'll see what we can do to these. But as you can see, I've stayed away from the pulsars because I struggled to get them working last week when I was playing them. I know you've got to pretty much untick that and try and micro it. The AI isn't too hot with it. It is getting worked on, I believe. But otherwise you generally find you've got a 6k range, and when you mouse over it, it doesn't show you the range, it shows you a straight beam out the front. And then you've got to try and get the enemy ship, and it fires 3 pulses, and it's a lot easier to hit the broadside of a ship. But really, do you want to be shooting any Ork, Imperium or Chaos on a broadside? No, it's not where you want your Eldar. You want them behind them if you possibly can. And that's when they're the narrowest, which makes the pulsar the hardest to hit. And if you stop your ship to aim it, then your shields drop and offer you no protection. So it is, I would say, a very advanced weapon to use and a very intense weapon to use. I did fight an Eldar player last night that ran, it was about 11 or 12 frigates with them on, and he took on one of my Carnages, and it was frightening how quick he was melting that ship. It survived, and then I proceeded to destroy him because that one drove through the middle while they all sat still shooting at him. And, you know, I sent a Carnage to each of the little groups that he had there, and it was very interesting but very frightening at the same time, watching the damage that they could do. And they were only the escort ships that done that to us. So I've got 160 seconds now where I've got to try and keep out of his range, and with my fleet being so young, I've only got the 180 degree power. I haven't taken any stasis, but I think stasis is going to be very important for missions like this, because as the Eldar, I'll be able to drop it in front of myself and then zip through it and then use it as a barrier to prevent anybody chasing me. But at the moment I can only see 3 ships, so I'm hoping that I can just slowly keep my distance and prevent him from getting too close to me. But we'll watch what he's doing, because all he has to do is get within my ship within that green circle there, and he can steal the data off me. So let's get some fighters out, and let's see if my Eldar will fire some torpedoes off. Not really bothered if they hit or not. We're just pottering about trying to keep at range for as long as possible. And the other problem with the Eldar is on missions like this, when I have to stop to warp out, I lose my shields while I'm trying to warp out, which is another thing that's quite frightening. I'm just flipping my fleet round. So hopefully he's going to think I've gone the other way, although my fighters will probably give the game away. But let's just potter about and see what we can do and try and earn ourselves some renown. So I'm just going to try and get my fleet in here. Hopefully my fighters will deal with any torpedoes that he sends my way. And we'll see where we go from here. At the moment I think they're a pretty boring race to play. A lot less pew pew at this stage. Well, I've only got another 30 seconds to go. Let's see what we can do. I don't even want to ram him, not even with an escort, because it will instantly die. Alright, he's taunted me. He probably doesn't realise that he can just take the data straight from us. So I'm going to now steal that data back. That's not on the ship I wanted, but it's on the ship that's furthest away, and that's what counts. Now I just need to get as far away as I can before I hit the jump button. I think, I don't know, see, the disadvantage is they can take the data off me anytime, but the advantage is Eldar are ridiculously fast. So I should be able to get to about here, and then jump that ship out. Of course, if I had stasis, I would just drop them round here, and he wouldn't have a chance of getting anywhere near us. Yeah, game mode unbalanced versus Eldar. Yep, it certainly is, mate. Well, that was better than the last mission. Cruiser Clash, of course, would be a lot more interesting, as I would get the pew pew. Right, this is seeming to take an awfully long time to do anything. There we go. Well, as I said, I'm not a huge fan of the Eldar. They don't float my boat in any way, shape or form. Well, we got ourselves a Cruiser Clash, so we do actually get to do some pew pew now. And it's against the Imperium, so this is going to be interesting because I cannot get close to him. If I get close to him, I am in serious trouble. So I'm going to take a whole bunch of fighters so I can protect myself. And then I'm going to take... Do I want to take that? Yeah, let's take that for some bit extra damage. I think the Eldar weapons aren't right in terms of they are very fast firing and they do a lot of damage per second, whereas I think there should be more burst fire to fit in with their playstyle, because at the moment you've got to get on a target and stay on it for the weapon to really work, apart from the pulsars, which are hit and run, whereas the shuriken cannons I think are quite weak in that respect. So for taunt purposes, I'm going to set myself to 12k and circle. That way if I get taunted, my ships will not, if they're on this one and 6k and they're within 6k, they'll just stop and face the enemy ship, and that's bad. So at least on this one, with broadside engaged in the 12k, they will keep moving and they shouldn't move closer to the enemy because taunt has got a shorter range than 12k. And we're going to automatically set most of the abilities on the Eldar away. And now we're going to go and try and find some Imperial trouble. Now the Nova cannons are probably going to really hurt if he gets a chance to shoot us. And you'll notice on this fleet I have absolutely no vision. I thought the 180 was a lot more important at this stage, but I will look at putting vision on them. And you see with the Kroozer, I've upgraded the hollow fields, so the shields now stop 90% damage, or they have a 90% chance to stop the damage, followed by then the 25% from the hull. So it means a lot of damage should get negated, but one of the things I found playing Eldar is you get into a false sense of security when this yellow bar is full, because your hit points can be disappearing but you don't realise it, because of course and there you see that Nova, look at them hit points he's lost, look at the hit points he's lost. So it's quite painful when they do fire Nova cannons and they hit. There's the AI firing his torps off. But as it is for the moment, I want to keep my range. I'll probably end up sending this guy in to find what the enemy is, because I do need some vision. And I've got to remember all of my weapons are on the nose of my ships. So he's going to suicide in here and try and figure out what I'm actually up against. But I need to get in here, and then there'll be ships in here, and it's going to be frightening. Just seen something happen over there. So let's run them. And that's going to be painful. And there we go, we got ourselves a target. Let's get him out. Now we're going to do a run through, and we are going to try and trust in our shields to keep us alive while we do this attack run. So as we come in, we're going to close on him and try and shoot him quite a lot. The weapons on these have got the 90-degree cone out the front of the ship. So as you can see, if you can get behind them and hit them, you can do a fair chunk of damage. We don't want to hit that ship. He will have no qualms about running into me though. Let's give him some torpedoes. And Eldar can be quite nasty when they get up close and personal. So we've done that, and now what I'm going to do is switch to this guy. And they should switch themselves round and start going for him. So I've got my speed boost, so what I want to do is try and boost past him and then turn around and get on his rear, because I don't want to be facing him on the side, and I certainly don't want to be doing that ramming. So we want to try and get behind the Imperial ship where he has the same armour as on the rear, but he can't broadside me at that point. And of course I've got some torpedoes. And you've always got that R, or well, I've got a bound there where you can get the extra speed. But as you see, they are very fragile, and I'm not the best pilot. So now we're going to start doing some lightning strikes on them. And we'll see if we can do some damage to them with lightning strikes. But it's a very interesting playstyle. I'm still experimenting with these guys. We'll figure out how to get them working. As you can see, the shields dropped when he came to a stop. But that guy should be dead on the next pass. There we go, you saw them activate that special power. And now he's trying to run his last ship out, who should be hiding in here. And we're now going to target him and his generators and try and deal with that. Making sure that we don't, of course, crash into them at the same time. And to do that, we need to try and avoid them. When I've just lost a light cruiser there, because these things do drift around something chronic. Now I know he hasn't got taunt, so I'm not going to be too worried about that. But I really can't stand still, and that ship's going to die. And you see how quickly you go from doing quite well to not doing well at all with the Eldar. Slightest little tap and you're in serious trouble. And the false security of that big yellow bar, when my hit points are all disappearing, isn't very good either. Because you think you're doing well, when in reality, you die into a death of 1,000 paper cuts. I really don't want to come to a stop. He's going to try and ram me. And he's going to... Oh, just missed us, that's nice. I'll do some boarding actions on him. And then I'm going to park behind him. And I'm going to try and keep behind him, even though my ship's absolutely wrecked. Because if I can do that, I can win this. But I've got to be very careful I don't hit him. I'm very careful that he doesn't do a high energy turn and just smack us with part of his ship. And there go my torpedoes. I am happy for him to run away at this point. Oh, he's keeping his ship in the fight, so I need to keep moving so I don't lose the advantage of my holofield generators. But that should be game over. And you can see how dangerously close that was, and look at how few hit points I had left. Because that yellow bar, you get into thinking that I've got shields, I'm fine. And yes, it might be in, you know, a 10 or 20% chance they're going to hurt you through the shields, and then 75% chance they'll penetrate your armor. You could go for a minute without taking damage, and then with the RNG, you know, in the next 30 seconds of broadsides, every one of them can hit you and hurt you. So it's quite sudden, and suddenly you realise under that yellow bar that the green bar is vanishing very, very quickly. But I got to say again, the play style I don't quite get. It doesn't quite make sense to me. I don't really want to spend renown, but I haven't got a fleet, so yeah, let's get one of them back up. We'll have another bash at the Eldar. I'm looking forward to seeing what the Space Marines are like, and I'm also looking forward to seeing whether we do get the Tau, because they seem to be winning the poll at the moment, and it'll be nice to see how they look. It was one of the races I did have in 40k on Warhammer. I had a Tau army, and I did like them. So I've got to kill a couple of outposts and then run away. So I'm going to be taking two big ships and then a bunch of escorts. And these, I'll take him because he's got a lot of shuriken cannons, and they do a lot of damage if you can get them used. But the problem here, I can't do what Chaos Imps or Orks do, which is sit next to the outposts and trade fire with them, or ram them, although now you take, I believe, double damage when you ram an outpost or a station. So I can't just sit next to them, Eskimo style trading shots with them. I have to keep hitting running them, otherwise my ships will lose their holo shields and we will get annihilated. So let's put my ships down, and let's, in case he's got taunt, brace for taunt. And let's see what we can do to these outposts. Again, I don't have vision. It's something I really need to work on. Right, people slag Nova cannons off, but that was half dead, and that wasn't even a direct hit. So Nova cannons do hurt. Right, we want to go just past you and see what kind of damage we can do. Try and get out that stasis, because I don't really want to get stasised. And here we go, this is going to start getting painful fast, because all he needs to do is take out my shields, and if he takes my shields out, I am not going to be able to take any damage. But as you can see, they do some serious damage when they do get up close. So we've hit one, we're now going to swing round and hit the second one. Because I have to keep moving, because it's Eldar. What's he stopped for? Get moving. I have to keep moving because they are Eldar, and Eldar do not do very well when they are not moving. As the faster you move, the better the hollow fields works, up to 80%. You see, them Nova cannons really are hurting quite a bit. Now he's going to try and ram me, so I've got to be careful of that as well. So what we're going to do here is we're going to teleport him round. I wonder why his bombers aren't working, but that's often the thing with this game, is the bombers don't often work. And you see how handy that 180 is, able just to spin the ship round like that. And now we've got to run the gauntlet here. If he gets me generators or my engines, it is pretty much game over for an Eldar ship. Otherwise, I think they are quite powerful. But when I was playing against them yesterday, a horrible thing I was doing was using micro warp jump to teleport myself directly in front of them. And of course, once I got in front of them, there was very little they could do. He's going to try and ram, so I've got to try and run away and not hit the target like that. But that worked out quite well for me, as I was able to kill it. And now we just run away. And I'll fire some bombers at him. We'll brace for impact. And we'll zoom out of that, because I don't want to get caught in that bomb. And that's Eldars using their speed quite nicely to their advantage, which is what they're built for. It is an involving fleet to use. You do have to do a lot of work, but I don't know, I don't find it exciting or enjoyable. I find it quite boring. But you know what, I'll play them, I'll try them, because if I've got to fight against them I need to try and understand how they work, so that when I'm facing an Eldar fleet I know what they're doing. But that's it, another victory on the Eldar. Of course it'll be a different story when I fight another Eldar. That'll probably come down to whoever crits who first, and then that person potentially will win. They're very limited in ship choice. 2 light cruisers. I think they've only got 1 cruiser, 1 battle cruiser, and I think it's 1 battleship. I can't remember what battleship I did have on these. I think it is 1. But we'll see as we level up this Admiral. So I'll get a second cruiser, 200 points, yeah, I'll take that. And it's the Shadow. The other cruiser, I believe, is the battle cruiser from tabletop. But the first thing I want to do is upgrade this guy and put some skills on him. So I'll go for the 180 turn, because that's the first thing I want. And then I like the fighters because torpedoes. Against Orks, the last thing I want is a load of boarding torpedoes hitting us. I should be able to dodge them, but you never know. And with my pro skills, I certainly won't be dodging them. I'll be driving straight into them. Now, the first skill I put on him was to basically change it from 80 to 90% protection, which I thought was really good. The next thing I'm tempted to go with is to put the... where are we? Change the icon. This is belt armor, and that ignores the first crit, which is, I think, very important. And for his crew, I've been raising the troop value for the inevitable boarding actions that I'm going to get hit with. I can now upgrade my transporter, but I don't have the points because it costs 200. But I played yesterday on my Chaos and I upgraded these as stealth ships, and it is just really funny doing convoy defense now. It's gone from being heavily stacked in favor of the attacker to heavily stacked in favor of the defender. Because you're able to use twice the combustion gauge, you're able to use the combustion gauge while stealthed, so it really has totally changed the dynamics of that mission. But I'm against a Imperial on a cruiser clash, so let's see what I can do. Okay, I'm not going to have any bombers this time, but I will take the 2 cruisers. And I've got a crap ton of points left over. I could take 1 set of bombers, or I could take a couple of 3 escorts. And I might go for a couple of escorts, because them 15 shuriken cannons are nothing to be laughed at. That's a lot more firepower than these guys. Or I might just decide to take some bombers. Yeah, let's do a carrier fleet in this way, and we'll see how this goes. I do think that they do have quite pretty ships when you can see them in the light and the star's not on the other side of us. But let's see how well I can do here. And I think Eldar will get munched in asteroids. So yeah, one thing they've changed is the circles on deployment are now different sizes, which I think is good for different sized ships. So the bigger the ship, the bigger the circle around it. So I'm going to be lazy and I'm going to autopilot as much as I can. And then we are going to ready up once I've made sure my ships aren't going to run when they're taunted straight at the enemy. Let's get some more fighters up. So I've got 3 wings of fighters up. I'm going to try and wait till that cooldown is finished and then I'll put that on auto attack, because that might be what's bugging out on it. Now during the closing period with the Eldar, I've got my boost button here, a 20-second cooldown, and it gives them a really nice healthy boost for a few seconds. I will keep that for either the probes coming at me or the torpedoes. Now what I really am thinking of doing is getting the sensor range and boosting the sensor range up on 1 or 2 ships, and that way I can get them within sensor range and identify them, and then my fighters or bombers can start doing what they need to do. The shuriken cannons aren't, because they're really short range, but it will mean that I can start doing damage. See, look at the damage. Nova cannon didn't even hit me, and it's just took a nice chunk of hit points off my ship. So we will, there's the torpedoes away. Let's get out of the way before they come screaming at me. No, I can't see where those torpedoes are. Oh, they're mine. That was the AI firing them, and he was easily able to dodge. So we'll go through this cloud here. He will see me with that ship, but what we need to do is now just start working on him. So I'm going to run right through the middle of his fleet. There go my torpedoes, and I'm going to trust in my voyage, my hollow fields, to keep me alive. He's going to try and hit me, so I need to run out before he rams me. And he's going to ram me with that ship. And Eldar take a ridiculous amount of damage. And we're going to flick the ships round and come back the other way. And now I'm hoping my fighters seem to be automatic. He's taunted me, but my ship will carry on moving because of the orders I've set. Unless something blocks its path. But it will get moving again as soon as it can. And then once it comes back under my control, I can concentrate on his cruiser. Now I've got torpedoes on this guy, and I'm going to be very careful I don't shoot my own ships. Get them out of the way, keep him moving. And there goes an escort. I see these guys are ridiculously fragile. That's going to hurt. You can see it didn't even hit me. And look at the damage we've taken. So these Eldar are I think very difficult to play. So we're now going to concentrate on this little guy here and try and kill him. But he's going to sit in that gas cloud knowing that I've got to come in there to do any damage to him. And that's the only way I can get vision, and to do that I've got to get close to him. And he knows that, And that's exactly what he wants because I can't keep range. So now I'm showing me bump to him. I can't do anything to him, but I need to get away because I can't afford him running into the back of my ship. But what I can do is jump my ships around. And so far, the only way I've learned to use these ships is to try and run through the enemy fleet and keep running through the enemy fleet. But I'm going to get mullered by him ramming me. But that's exactly how I've been dealing with the Eldar. I find to try and get close to them and then just ram them. And you just tickle them and they break. He's possibly going to die. Oh, he must have been... Nope. You see that? All the health disappeared. That was that Nova Cannon doing enough damage to absolutely nuke that ship. The Nova Cannons are really deadly on Eldar. And that's the thing I would do, is try and jump in front of the Eldar. And that way you're ramming them. Or you're causing them to slow down to turn. So I'm going to try and kill at least one ship. But it is very difficult. But as you can see, the Shrieking Cannons, when they do hit, they do good damage. But unfortunately you can't slow down the speed of the Eldar. So you can't set to a certain speed to allow yourself to sit behind somebody. You've got to come to a stop. So you've got to toggle stop, start, stop, start. And for me, it's just too much work. So I think on some missions, you're absolutely fine with them, but then on other missions, you really struggle with them. Right. So I'm going to try and stop failing on the Eldar. And I'm going to go play something a bit more conventional, and hopefully there will be people with level 8 Eldars now, so I'll get to play them at that level. But I'll go back to my Chaos because they are my go-to fleet. I'm thinking of making some changes to this fleet at some time. I've renamed my ships, now I know that it doesn't change in the name once it dies, but the transporters, you know, it says that, but it doesn't. It still adds 50 speed. Silent running, twice as long, doesn't get revealed. So now they are, as you can see, the speed 162. Not great, but much better than what they used to be. I think the longest serving ship I've got at the moment is one of these, unless they all got killed a couple of games ago, which they did. And it's going to be one of my runners. Yeah, that there is my runner ship, and you can see he survived 25 fights, which is quite good. I have managed to do a little bit of work on the despoiler, but he needs some more work. But I generally suicide him in anyway. But I'm contemplating maybe playing about with the Chaos powers and trying some other stuff out on them. I like this game mode. Very easy with the Eldar because you've got the speed to get to the points. Every so often a point will appear on the map and you need to fly over it with a ship. The Eldar do this very well. I'm going to take that Styx because he's level 4, he's level 10, so I want to level him up. My cruisers are all level 10 now, so I'll take them. I could try and level them up, but I don't want to. I'll take them in lower point games. Plus all my cruisers do have the speed upgrade on them. Doesn't make them the fastest ships, but they are faster than the basic cruiser. So, I've just got to wander around this map, wait for an objective appear, and drive over it. At the same time, there's 4 outposts, and they have stasis, the bubbles, on each of the outposts. So what I'm going to do is target the outposts and try and kill them. And that gives me something to do while I'm waiting. And also I need to try and hang around the middle of the map, because the middle of the map will mean that no matter where the objective pops, I should be pretty much alright to get to it. So I'm going to set these all as 2s. I'll leave one open because if I see another target that I really want to kill, then by having them set as 2, I can pick another target and kill it. So now we just wait for him to ready up. So yeah, this countdown here, the clock will start, and when I hit 0 an objective appears and I get about a minute and a half. It's just a little circle and I just have to fly through the circle, and when I fly through the circle I drop ordnance on the planet. It's nice. I like the look of it. So the first thing I want to do is dodge this this minefield. And we're going to head straight for that. And I'm going to try and do a circle. Hit that one, and around. If I don't kill it in the first pass, I'm not really worried about that. And he's really close to that, so I don't want you that close, and I don't want you that close. Now what I'm going to do is get a bit of vision on the enemy fleet, because I'd like to know what I'm facing. Oh, it's tight. Alright, we're just going to park here. I don't really want to get stasis. So let's park here and just wait for this bubble and point my ships this way. So they should all slowly turn round. You should turn round at some point. Come on. There we go, he's turning round. Now he's turned round, I'll get him moving. And that's the stations firing them at me. Okay, he's got quite a few ships there. Got a battleship, 3 escorts, and a dauntless, what I've seen. There's something else at the back which I don't know what it is. And I've got 20 seconds to my first objective, so I'm going to start heading towards the middle of the map. We'll shoot at anything we pass. If I can nail these escort vessels, that will be quite interesting as well. Because the more of his ships are killed, the bigger chance he's got of his entire fleet running away. And we're about to get told what our first objective is. So there's the objective here. And I've now got 1.5 minutes to cruise over there. So what I need to do is start moving my ships. And of course he's going to use the stasis to try and stop me from getting there. I only need to get one ship through that, so that's his job. So let's start moving these ships. And there's possibly going to be another one drop in front of him. I just got to make sure I don't use all of his fuel, because it's always good to have some fuel left over. But as we go, we're just going to try and nuke the outposts as we pass it. And I want these guys to try and catch up, because I really would like my fleet together. As you can see, the timing is quite tight, because I've headed pretty much straight for it, had to burn, and I'm just really going to get there. It's going to be interesting how Orks are going to do this. So as I fly over that, you'll see he'll start shooting the ground. There we go. Orbital bombardment is successful. And we've got another platform thrown down at stasis here. And I really don't want to hit that. So let's get out of there. And we will move up towards the centre of the map again. This guy's in quite a bit of trouble, but he's been left behind. With chaos, we don't mind leaving people behind. And you can see our target over there. So he is going to start burning towards it. He is going to have to burn towards it. And this guy here is going to have to burn towards it. And guess what? So's him. But I don't think this guy's going to make it because he is nearly dead. And it's right on top of an outpost, so he's going to get a leather in when he gets there. Let's put down some defense to slow him down. And you see, we're going to have to stop because I don't want to go into the stasis field, because I won't make much progress at all in the stasis field. So now I just have to wait for that stasis field to drop, and then we'll move in there and bombard that position. But it's an interesting game mode. I'm still undecided on it. I do think the bombardment looks pretty cool. But there we go. And I've got one more of these to do now. I do not want to crash into that. So we'll take that platform down. And now I need to hang around the middle of the map. I think he's rage quit. Yep. He's realised he can't win that. Like I say, I'm still undecided how that mission plays out. I think the race makes a big difference. But he was chasing me, and I don't think that's the way to play it. I look at it like a chessboard. The way you win, well, not the way you win with chess, but one of the things you do in chess is you control the centre 4 squares of the board. And that gives you a lot of control over the game. And I think this map is the same as that. You need to control the middle of the map. And he didn't do that. As the defender, I think he really should have sat in the middle and waited for the points to appear and then try and stop me getting there, rather than heading straight at me and trying to engage me, because I am just going to kite. And as a Chaos Fleet, I've got the tools to kite. Let's fix him. Heavily damaged. Renown's doing quite well, so I'm not too worried. But it'd be interesting if I get to play defender on that, because I've not had to defend on that mission yet. Eldar will just be obscene on it, because they'll just fly around and zip over every objective. And as the objectives aren't known at the start, it's not like as the defender you can park somebody on the objective waiting for them. But we'll see. So I'm going to take me level 4 sticks again, because I'm trying to level him up. It's a breakthrough, so I've got to destroy 4 outposts and get 2 cruisers past them. So that's what I'm going to have a try at doing. Unknown what type of fleet he's got. Nurgle is making us brawly. I think if they change Nurgle, then Chaos will no longer be able to brawl, and I think that's a good thing, because I don't think Chaos should have any success at brawling. That's Imperium and Ork territory. So I'm just having a bit of a cough fit in the background there. Alright. Let's have a look at this map and see what's going on. Again, I'm going to set all of these to 2, because I want to leave number 1 open in case I see a more high priority target that I want to kill. I think I need to do him. Did I do him? Yes. So we've got a lot of terrain. I'm going to start on the left, and from here we're going to move round, and we're going to try and slowly destroy these platforms without taking too much damage. I'm not bothering about the range on these. I need to see what type of Chaos Fleet I'm up against before I even start considering the range that I want to fight at. Because it all depends on what ships he's got and what marks he's got. Will dictate whether I need to try and kite him or whether I want to get in and brawl him. So we'll have a look and we'll see what he's armed with, what he's fitted with, what his skills are. And then that'll determine where we fight. But we're going to get busted by this probe, I'm not too worried by that. But at least I'm going to get a little bit of an idea. So he's got a battleship, pretty low level. And what is that? We got a Styx. And he's got corn on it. So I'm going to set myself, when it lets me, nope, he's tack cogging it. I'm going to set myself to 3k and leave the Styx at 6, because I can see his fleet is not a brawly fleet. His attacks are going to hurt close range. I'm not going to make it out of all these stasis fields, so this could be painful, but I'm not too worried about that, because we're going to stasis him up as well. And what's his other ship over there? So he's got the devastation, which, as you can see, he's got the launch base, so again, not a brawling ship. So none of his fleet is brawly, so I am happy to brawl with this guy. But what I'm going to do is just plot a straight line straight past the next target. Need to make sure that nobody actually drives into, because they have doubled the damage these things do. And as I'm not playing Eldar, I have absolutely no fears about making my ships stop if I need to. But I don't want to make them stop. I'm very happy just flying around any stasis. Let's just get these on a bit of a course. And we'll shoot that outpost on the way past, and it probably will not survive. At the same time, throw some stasis down on him, just to slow him down as well. This guy's probably going to have to swap out to this side, so that he can take a bit more damage and he doesn't get as damaged. But because I'm running the Carnages, I do have the range to shoot at him while he's flying over there as well. But what I do need to start looking at doing is moving the ship out of the way. And the lag, as you can see by my ping, if you watch the ping's bouncing up and down on this, which is not good. So I want you to swap lanes, and I want you to swap lanes. Oh, if he wants to run, I'd rather he dies. Let's see what else we can do here. Not the most exciting fight, but hey, some missions are fun, some missions aren't so fun. But I can only afford to lose one more ship. Now I've lost him. And when I lose that one ship, you're not going anywhere. Right, he's probably not going to survive. So what I'll do with him is I'll tell him just to concentrate on killing that, while these two are now going to make a break for the end zone. I'm going to make him a second control group. And these two, your job, run away. Exciting? No, it's not. But it gets the job done, and that's what this is about, is getting the job done. See, he's killed that outpost so he can run. But I think Kroozer Clash really is the most balanced game mode so far. Yeah, as you see, he's saying it's boring game mode. It is a very boring game mode. Ready eternally. And that's that mission done. So there we go. Really want just Kroozer Clash. But my ping was all over during that mission. It was very stuttery and very laggy in that fight. But my stick's got to level up, so that's always good news. So I'll fix him. Not really bothered about the cost. And I got a better crewman on the sticks. And yeah, pretty crap, but I'm just going to copy what we're doing cooldown. Give him a bit of cooldown reduction. But it cost us 100 renown to get that ship back that died. If I had let it warp out or the other one warp out, I might have lost him for a couple of battles. And that I made 180 renown doing the fight. Replace it for 100, so I made 80 renown still. So why do I care about losing ships? As long as I'm not like losing them every match and losing them all every match, then yeah. Oh, Cruiser Clash versus Eldar. Let's see how it goes. I'll take the level 5 again, and I'll take the 2 10s. With these Carnages having the 12k range, that means that the Eldar can't kite me. He can kite to some extent, but he still has to get within 12k to shoot me, because no weapon has a range greater than that apart from torpedoes, which he might have, or bombers. But I have fighters, which will hopefully deal with his bombers. But it does mean that I don't need to get within brawling range. If I can get him in brawling range, I'm laughing. And I'm also not running taunt. I think any Eldar player that knows what they're doing, taunt means nothing to them. Hello Jeff, you saw me when I was playing my Eldar before. I got taunted, and as I'd set my ships to 12k orbit, the taunt done nothing. It just prevented me from hitting the turbo button with the Eldar. But the ship still moved, so still had the full benefit of the shields. So straight away I'm going 3k on all my ships, because quite possibly the only way I'm going to kill this guy is by driving into him. Right, lightning strikes will be used in this match. Once I identify his fleet, the first thing I will be doing is lightning striking his fleet, because I want to take out his generators. With it being Eldar, I need to get closer before I probe him, otherwise he'll just dodge them. Now he's got a lot of ships there. He's probably gone for lots of pulses on the frigates. The idea being you drive up to us and you just pulse the shit out of one of my ships. It's happened before to one of my cruisers, and it was frightening to watch how quick my cruiser melted in front of me. It survived, but while he was doing that, this one went that way to take the pack on that was sitting shooting us there, and this one went that way to take the pack on that was shooting us there. And it was disgusting watching how quick the Eldar ships died while they were just sitting still, putting pulses into one ship. Yes, they are indeed. They are a micro nightmare. So we're identified, that's fine. We're going to throw some probes out and identify him. Oh, I need to keep there to avoid that. So here, pulsar frigates, as I expected. And we will just brace for impact. And we will do that, and then you will go that way. And you're going to nail them. So as you can see, he's just come in to absolutely spam me with his frigates. I've had somebody do this to me before, and it really didn't work. It's frightening at first when you watch it, but it's not that bad. And now what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to ram this snot out of this Eldar, if my ship does as told. And when I hit it, look at the damage it takes. And I'll push him into that field. So that pulsar tactic's been used on us before, and it didn't work the first time it was used against us, and I don't think it's going to work the second time. So now what we do is we look at ramming the shit out of this guy as well, because he's going to have to now try and dodge me. Let's get some lightning strikes on the go. And the other thing you can do is teleport, if it'll let me. Teleport in front of him. Oh, and I missed. Never mind. Well, that's another interesting tactic you can do to them. Try and drop in front of them. And you see he's going to have to use his boost power to get away. It's not going to get him very far. I've got a speed boost, and I've got 20 seconds to try and catch up to him and do some damage to him. And of course he's going to be running, and then I'm going to shepherd him because he's now heading towards the rest of my fleet. But we took him out anyway because he slowed down to turn around. So Eldar, I don't know, that tactic, people see the pulsers, see the escorts, they think, oh, I can take 10 escorts, put pulsers on them, stop, and I can melt the ship. Yeah, you're not melting a cruiser. Plus, you've got to come to a stop. I'm going to start murdering you. It's not the way to do it. People are just letting the ships come to a halt. And as you can see, I've just killed 4 ships, crippled another 4 ships, and the rest of them I think ran away. But yeah, not my cup of tea, that. I'm yet to play an Eldar player that actually fields a decent Eldar fleet in a high point game. I'm looking forward to it because I want to see how I can handle it. But I think I've got another Eldar. Let's see what this guy fields. It's data recovery. I'm the attacker. I'm probably not even going to catch him. Now, I could be sneaky and I could go with the light cruisers because they've got 275 speeds, which is much better than their 238s. But the problem with them is they just don't do any damage. And I know I don't need to take your shields down, but they need to have their shields up as well. And they've only got 100-point shields. These guys have got double the shields. So I'm going to take the standard fleet, what I take. Again, low-level sticks, because I want to level him up. But I really do want to make him different to the other sticks, but I haven't decided what route I want to go with him. But this could be me just staring at a map wondering where he is for the entire match. Or watching him zip away from us as I can't close him down. As you saw my game before when I was playing Eldar and data recovery and I was defending, it was just run, 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 and the Imperium player couldn't even catch us. So yeah, let's see how this game mode works out for me against the Eldar. I'll be very surprised if I can actually win. So again, with it being Eldar, auto attack, 3k, I want to get in close. I've got Dot and Nurgle, and I want to ram the shit out of the Eldar. So let's go. Make haste and turn away now, lunatic. Right, I really need to get some taunts against Eldar. But I'll give him me standard Nurgle taunt. But here we go, here come the missiles. I'm gonna get some probes out, see what he's got. But what I need to do is I need to target that main ship and I need to try and catch him. But while I do that, I'm just going to run through his fleet and do as much damage as I can. But all I need to do is get within transporter range and I can steal the data. But he can steal the data back from me very nicely as well. Now, I don't know why he's parked his ship over there. But he's sitting still. No doubt he's going to jump away. Yeah, he's got teleport. So it's going to be very hard to catch him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use attack cog and I'm going to get in range and I'm going to steal the data. But he will steal it straight back. Because that ship, once he takes my shields down, can steal it straight back. And there goes his teleport. He's going to try to take the shields down on my ship, and once he does, he's going to grab the data and then boost straight out. So I need to keep a ship at the back here and get ready to take the data off him if he does. But for some reason he didn't take the data off us. I'm not sure why he allowed me or made the mistakes to let me steal the data. I should not have gotten close to that Eldar ship, not considering the speed of it, and it has teleport. So now it's just a case of me cruising around for a minute, getting pot shotted at, and I really want to avoid that. Let's try and not get caught in that bubble. I think I'm going to lose one ship in the bubble. Yeah. He's going to fall behind, and if you fall behind, you get left behind. So as it is, I'm just going to keep range. Yeah, that's knackered over there. Where's he jumping to? He's jumping away. I think he's give up the chase. But I should never have got that data off him in the first place. So I'm going to have a bit of a repair bill after this. Oh, no, just keep going. That guy's going to die, so at least I'll get some renown for killing an escort. I've got 20 seconds to go, so let's put some distance. And ideally, I want you to get your shields repaired. Oh, his generator's dead, so that's not going to happen. So I want to get in this gas cloud for some cover, and then once I'm in the gas cloud, I want to park a couple of ships to stop him from getting my main ship. Of course, now we start dropping down some stasis to make it harder for him to try and get me. I'll drop another stasis. He's not going to get me. It was quite interesting. He must have been napping there, because I should not have been able to lightning strike that Eldar ship. And he was able to take the shields off my ship while he was still in range to lightning strike us back. But even then, if he'd done that, one of my cruisers would have took the data back off him. So that was interesting. First time I think I played an Eldar against an Eldar at this level in that kind of mission. And I'm really surprised I won. Somebody's heavily damaged, are you? Oh, I honestly would have thought he would have been heavy damaged, but never mind. So, another 141 renown in the bank. I wish I could spend it on something. So let's see what we get next. Favorite game mode, Cruiser Clash. It's against an Ork. This can be brutal. So, let's see. 600 points, you know what it's going to be. A Styx and 3 Carnages. And we'll see how this game goes. Depending on what weapons he's fitting, depends whether I want to try and sit at 12k or whether I want to get into 3k. If he's got the heavy Daka, I need to sit at range. If he's got zaps and lots of guns, then what I want to do is get up close and personal with them. If he's Goth, I don't want to get too close, or at least not to the front of his ships. So, just a standard deployment. The 3 cruisers around the battle cruiser. Simple, straightforward, but I'm quite a simple person, so I do like simple things. I'm going to start by telling my guys, let's head over here. Oh, he's either got, oh yeah, he's got 15 ships. Lots of frigates, I see. So, with it being Ork and him having frigates, I really need to start killing his frigates, try and cause a chain reaction in his fleet of him running away. Oh, he's either got, oh yeah, he's got 15 ships. Lots of frigates, I see. So, with it being Ork and him having frigates, I really need to start killing his frigates, try and cause a chain reaction in his fleet of him running away. And of course I'll insult him, but he's an Ork, so he'll probably not get it. Let's get my fighters out, and let's start identifying his frigates. And what do I think looking at this? frigates, and possibly a pair of battle cruisers, maybe. But that is a big, big, scary fleet. 15 orcs. I'm going to do a bit of shameless advertising as well.
Just show us something.
Unfortunately, if he starts that up while we're playing, he'll see exactly what I've got. But I've got a feeling they're probably battle cruisers or cruisers. And here we go. Lots and lots of frigates. And what are they armed with? Heavy cannons, heavy cannons, heavy cannons, heavy cannons. So I really need to kite. These heavy cannons have got a short range, so what I'm going to do is set my fleet to 9k and I'm going to set him to 12k because I can fight at this range. I've got vision tools, so if I can keep distance and keep them off to one side, I can do quite well. Okay, that wasn't me pressing them. I was pressing that, and for some reason it started spamming my stasis. That was very weird, but never mind. It's done, I can't undo it, so we carry on. I'm not even going to bother picking ships, I will just let them shoot the closest. We'll target the closest threat to them, which most of them are going to shoot at this guy. And as you can see, his big boys, I haven't seen them yet. There we go, light cruiser he's got. So, do I have any stasis? Yep, I'm going to drop a stasis on myself. And then we're going to switch sides. And you can hear his ships exploding already. And I'm just going to kite it because that is a terrible orc fleet. Either his fleet is wrecked or he's thinking that's powerful, but he's limited to a 3k range and he's not really going to do much damage. They're going to get a bit, he's going to take a bit of a kicking, but meh. We'll just drive past them. Lovely explosions of the gunfire as it hits its max range. So I'm just going to circle him, and this is like shooting fish in a barrel. Of course, my sticks if I need to, and he takes damage. He's got his shield boost to give to him. But at this stage, I am really not worried about getting close to these few frigates. He's got a cruiser there. They're going to be the last things I kill, is his cruiser and his battle cruiser. But as his ships start dying, I'll start moving us in closer and closer. And we see lots of guns, lots of heavy cannons, lots of guns. So I'm not going to be too worried about getting close to them cruisers either. And I'm really not sure what this guy is trying to achieve here. But we're just going to drive past him. I say, come on mate, you've got to ram us. That's what we like to see, good bit of orc ramage. But we're just going to drive past. And stop that ship. And let's just keep moving. So I've took a little bit of a damage there. But he's down to 9 ships. I've killed quite a few. He's about to lose another one. So we want a high energy turn. And then boost out of that because I don't want to get hit by that. And then we want to start regrouping my fleet over here. I'm not too worried again about this firepower from the orcs because escorts really aren't worth the points that you get for them. They're just not worth it. Oh, there's my sticks going for a ride. That was a little bit beastly of them. I've lost my sensors, so that's not a worry. He's going to take a ram, so let's hit him at speed. And now really it's just a case of cleaning up. And we'll start with his cruiser. And then we'll switch to his light cruiser, sorry, then we'll switch to his cruiser. That's going to die to the dot. I'm going to go now to 3k range because I just want to clean up these escorts. He's fired his torpedoes far too close to me, they'll do no damage. I'll GG him, but that fleet composition, again, it's like the Eldar where they bring all the frigates with the pulsars on them. I can sort of understand what people are trying to do, but it doesn't work out at all on paper or in the actual game. And often people, what are called EFT warriors from EVE Online days, where people would build something in the electronic fitting tool and it would look really nice on paper, but they then don't take into account the actual game and how people behave. And that's what I'm thinking I'm seeing there. People thinking, okay, it looks viable on paper, but in reality, people aren't going to sit still within 3k range of, 12 Ork frigates and just let themselves get popped. So that was quite an interesting battle, and it didn't cost me any renown at the end. So yeah, thank you very much for that, and I got to blow up a lot of ships. It would be nice if you had kill markings and or kill stats and things like that in the game. Some extra stats to give it a bit more life and a bit more persistence would be nice. Right, let's see what it throws at me now. Data recovery, defender, I've got 700 points. That means the despoiler comes out and the 3 cruisers. Hang on. Did you double that? Yes. The double bug's still there. You see I've got the horrid knave twice and the lustful slave there, so I need to get rid of him. Get rid of him again, so there's only one of them. And then bring the lustful slave. Sometimes if you click too quick it will move the ship, but leave the ship. So let's ready up and see how we do here. So I've got to protect my battleship. Hopefully there's somewhere in cover that's not damaging to me where I can park my battleship. And if I park it in there, I'm going to have to sit in the corner. Don't like the look of the cover that I've got. So that's rubbish cover. That's painful cover. That is not so painful cover. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the despoiler and I'm going to park him there. Then I'm going to take me cruisers and I'm just going to form a little shield around the battleship with the cruisers. I'm then going to tell them to attack, but I'm going to put them on the block, the stop order, because I don't want them going anywhere. I want them sitting still. I'm going to tell him he's live on TV, and then we're going to ready up. Now my ship should sit still, but because they've got the attack order on the skull, they will turn to face the enemy until they are within range. So I'm going to set the range to 12k, so once he gets, that's 12k range there, once he gets within 12k, my ships should turn and broadside him. My weapons all have decent range, and that's the range these ships will fight at. So they're 9k, so I should possibly set these to 9. I'm thinking of the Hellbringers and the Sticks for 12, but they're 9. Whereas he's 12. When he gets a little bit closer, I'm going to send some probes his way. Let's figure out what we're up against. I'm expecting missile spam or Nova spam once he gets a bit closer. But hopefully with this here, he'll be panicking because a lot of people don't like driving through this, and he will try and drive around the sides, not realizing that really doesn't hurt your ships that much. So as you can see, my ships are tracking the target. And now I've switched to the Dauntlesses because they are what I want to hit first. The escorts can't steal the data, so I don't really care about the escorts. So I'm going to set his main ships as number 1. Quick look at his powers: jump, void shields, jump, escort spam. So He could have sat away and tried to spawn ships, but he's only got a minute now. Really, in his position, what you want to do is just full throttle towards the enemy fleet if they're not moving. And that gives you much more time to then concentrate on getting the data. So here's the inevitable torpedo spam. I've got some fighters that'll deal with some of them. I've got turrets that'll hopefully deal with the rest of them. I'm not guaranteed immunity from his torpedoes, but I am able to deal with a lot. And as you can see, they're now within 12k, so he's going to broadside. Gets within 9k, these are going to broadside. Here comes the spam. I am very vulnerable to items that he places, and I am very vulnerable to stasis. But he is not running stasis, which I think is a bad idea for him. So we got his shields down, and that's really what I need to do. I need to sit here and just pummel them to get the shields down, so if they do steal the data, I can steal it right back at my leisure. So let's concentrate on nuking his shields. He can do what he likes because I really don't care about the escort. Right, his shields are down, so I'll now go for the other ones. The other cruiser's shields are about to come up. You see, he's got to come through all of this to deal with my battleship, because that's what's got the data. And my guys are just going to sit here, and in Starfleet battles, this is called star castling, where you just sit still, and in that game you've got energy allocation, you put power in weapons and shields and engines, and you just sit still, put all the powers in your weapons and your shields, and you just make the other person come to you. So there's one ship, that's going to kill that ship. So there's two ships down, another one exploded there. He's been far too passive. In this mission, he really should have just... He's got more cruisers than me. He should have just ran straight at me, leathered that, took the data, and then done the inevitable data swap while trying to jump out. Or sent them in, have a ship near the back who comes in, grabs the data, and then warp jumps straight out with the data. Preferably activating the warp jump before you steal the data. But quite an interesting mission, so let's stop him from running. Let's stop him from running. Because why not? Let's put a load of them down. Have I got one more? Nope, I've used them all. So this is the advantage of the Carnages. They can start shooting at 9k. Now you can beef them up so they start shooting at 12k, but I haven't went that route with them. I don't think I have, or have I? Oh yep, I have. I've increased the weaponry to 12, so I could have even just turned to 12k. But there's very little he can do at this stage. I'm going to taunt that. And now we'll start lightning striking this guy. I want to be super mean. Oh, he's dead anyway. I'm just gonna kill this guy here. He can take my shields down, but he's not going to be able to in time. So in that situation, he was far too passive. Sometimes, for me, that mission, I had to be passive. That was my best course of action. Yes, it's more exciting if I just charge up the map and get into a brawl, and it gives the attacker a lot more options because it opens the space around us. But by put my fleet in the corner, I limit his approach and I limit his escape. There's only really one direction he can come at us, one angle he can come at us from, and there's only one direction he can run away from, and he has to turn around to run away. So he can't zoom past us, he can't hit us on multiple fronts, and he has to go through my cruisers to get to my battleship. So he really should have just charged at the battleship and used the ship at the back of his fleet to ninja the data when its shields were down, and then jump it out before I could respond. But he came in mob style. Harkening back to Eve, we used to use that term a lot. I was a filthy low-sec pirate for most of my days in Eve. I flew for Veto Corp, and we used to take on what we called the mob, which was faction warfare. Groups of players coming out for a fight, and we were a very well-organised, well-disciplined outfit, and we would take ships that all worked with each other. And there's YouTube footage of us with 10, 12 ships taking on 50, 60 ships and winning, because we concentrated fire, we worked as a team, we knew what we were doing, and they came in mob rule like that, one at a time. Bit like if you play League of Legends and the enemy team's in mid, all 5 of them, and then your team runs in one at a time just to get killed. Collectively you could win it, but because you go in mob style, you lose it. Right, 300 points against Eldar. Could take the battleship for shits and giggles, but I don't think he would stand up at his speed to do anything. I really would like the sticks for the fighter coverage, but then I'm limited to a single light cruiser. Could take 2 light cruisers, or I can take 2 carnages. So I'm going to take a pair of carnage, and we'll see if we can deal with the Eldar with these 2 slow ships and no fighter coverage, because I want to be vulnerable to his torpedoes and his bombers if he has them. But the cheapest fighters I've got is on my battle cruiser, and that would have limited me to a single cruiser, and the rest would have been escorts. And I'm not a big fan of the escorts in this game. So let's automate the stations so that they do their thing. He's got to kill them 2, and then he's got to get 2 ships back here. Me, I've got to kill him. So I'm just going to set up with the 2 carnages, and it's Eldar, so 3k, and that's the range we want to be at. So I'm going to welcome him, and I'm going to advertise myself. And let's see how this fight goes. If he's a low level player, it could be painful for him, because my ships are both level 10 and they're favoured up. So we're going to wander around here. He'll nail that, and probably nail that before I even get anywhere near him. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to turn round. Just turn round. And we're going to park on one of our stations and try and defend it. So I just don't want to wander into that asteroid field if I can help it, because every little bit of damage at this stage could ruin us later on in the game. But so far I can only see 1 enemy fleet. There's 3 ships in it, so I've got a feeling that is his entire fleet. But he might have been sneaky and hit somebody over there who could be at this moment in time silent, running towards the edge of the map. And this could be 3 escorts designed just to lure me away. Well, I don't want to launch my probes too early, because if I do, he will just zoom out of the way and I'll have wasted my probes. Whereas my guns have got much bigger range than my ships have got vision. Right, now that's good, because he's fired that, which means I know he can't do that for another 20 seconds. So I can now drop some vision, and I should be able to get some sight on him. I'm just going to chase him around the merry-go-round, but I've got very nice range, so I'm happy just following him around for the moment. We can identify him again. I'm not too worried about getting identified, because I don't think he's got anything that he can actually hit me with at this range. Oh, just clipped me, that AoE. But the idea is, I really want to get close to his cruisers so that I can lightning strike them. So I'm going to drop that on them. And then if we can get close enough, which I wasn't able to do, he zoomed out just as I got within range. but that stasis will hopefully put him off getting too close to that platform.
We are unstoppable.
And I'm just going to hang around my platforms
He's hot. Moving to
and see what we can do to him.
tremble.
I don't want to wander too far apart from them, because if he does kill them, I'm in absolutely no position to stop him from just burning to the edge of the map. But that's what I want to do. I want to lightning strike him as soon as I can.
Set engines to full ahead.
And for some reason he's ramming it, which isn't going to do him any good,
Dark gods.
because that Eldar ship is now going to die a very painful death.
We'll follow your command for now.
Don't want to ram him, because ramming him is just going to hurt me,
Setting course.
and I can kill it without it touching me.
Command me.
Now we're just going to turn ourselves around
For the ruinous powers.
and wait for him to come in and do something.
Just show us something to kill.
Very boring tonight, I know. Normally it's high fueled, charge in, murder everything, but the Eldar have massively changed that.
Those coordinates.
The meta's changed in the game. They're so fragile, fast and kitey, they can't afford to do that. Right, you turn round and try and take care of their missiles.
Tremble, for chaos comes.
Try and use my defense turrets to shoot down his missiles.
Ready eternally.
Why is my ship arsing that? Thank you.
Electros activated.
And we didn't kill any of them.
We are unstoppable.
So he's got 15 minutes. He can do it with his torpedoes, because my other only option is to park my ships in front of the torpedoes, and that isn't going to be too clever for me. Right, I think he's gone silent. So what we're going to do
My energy turn.
is park you there, and you are going to come and park here. But I apologise about how boring it is, but this is what the Eldar have done. They've slowed the game right down. There you go, he was silent running.
We've sighted an enemy ship.
So
For the ruinous powers.
I'm obviously going to burn at him. I don't want to drop anything to make him run. I want to try and get close enough to lightning strike him. And if I can take the generator out, then I'm giggling. And I've got his generator, so now that his generator's dead,
Cruising speed set.
I can just cruise towards him
Forward to
and
the
hopefully
slaughter.
kill him. Oh, he's let himself get caught in stasis,
Cruising speed set.
which is not good.
Moving to those coordinates.
But as he's an Eldar, he gets out of it really quickly.
Tremble.
But now I've got the range on the weapons. As you can see, he's within weapons range. He's only got a 25% chance of preventing any hit. What do I think of the Eldar? I think they're very fragile and they're too easy to kill.
Setting course.
I think a high level player who's fast can make decisions quick
We are
and can manage the fast, clicking what they need could make them work. But I think they're far too vulnerable. I've took his generators out with a lightning strike, and he's gone from having an 80%, then a 25% save against every shot against him, to a 25% save against weapons.
follow your command.
And my ships have a 12k range. His ship has a 6k range. So my ships also have a 7.5k sensor, so he's now got to get within sensor range.
For chaos comes.
Yeah, I think a really good Eldar player will wreck face, because they'll be able to use them correctly.
For the ruinous powers.
Whereas I think your average player won't.
Moving to
I think the game and the Eldar are too fast for that. I've tried Eldar, he's jumping out.
engines hot. We are unstoppable.
And what we're going to do is we'll try and be mean. I got a level... Oh, I failed. I got up to level...
Is activated.
Oh, got it. Never mind. I managed to get my Eldar to level 8, and it was difficult. I didn't really enjoy it. I think it slowed the game down too much. It shifted the meta, possibly a good thing. But there's an awful lot of just watching people zip around at high speed while you can't touch them. But all it takes is one silly mistake by them, and they're knackered. Or one lucky lightning strike like I got on him, where he can't now use his hollow fields. So he loses that double save, and that first save is ridiculous. But the fact that you can get a 90% damage mitigation on it is quite nice. But they're just so susceptible to driving into things. Micro warp jumping in front of them, boosting into them. It's, I don't know. I think it really is for the advanced player. And I think the advanced players will massively shine with them. But all they need to do is make one mistake, and I think the average player will take them down. But I do like the idea of them. But they need something else. I'm still out on the pulsars. I don't know if I like pulsars or not. I understand why they're on cooldown, because if it was a normal weapon with a decent cooldown but fired automatically, you'd be cursing, because as you're jumping, as you're charging into people, you'd be shooting the wrong ship, and you'd be like, "Arr!" Yeah, I mean, one of the tricks I'd do is I micro warp jump my sticks in front of an Eldar cruiser and just watch as it drives into us. Playing against the Eldar, I think you need to know a thing or two as well. You need to be aware of their cooldowns and their powers. The first power I take on all my Eldar ships is the 180 turn. But that little boost with a 20-second cooldown, fighting against Eldar, you need to wait for that. You need to be aware of it. Because if Eldar don't want to get caught in any AoE, whether it be the small bombs or the large stasis, you will not catch them. People were crying about taunt. You set the range to 12k, set them to broadside, and somebody taunts you, you keep flying, you don't slow down. So people complaining about taunt is people not understanding how the mechanics of the AI work with the autopilot and how taunt interacts with it. But micro warp jump can be a giggle if you time it right and get it right. But it's just quite boring playing against Eldar, because you're just watching them zoom about. And it's like, yeah, I'm not really enjoying that, thanks. Let's get some vision on him. So I'm going to target his generators. And the idea being, as soon as I get within range, I will lightning strike him. And hopefully hit generators. So I'll do that here. Lightning strike. Let's see if we take the generators out. Don't think we did. Let's do another lightning strike. Did I get his generators? No. And I'm not close enough for any more lightning strikes. So what I'm going to do is just turn and engage him. But he's got the 180 power, which is really useful. And again, let's lightning strike him. Got his engine, so he's pretty knackered. But well, if it stops flicking what I'm doing. So now we're just going to sit and absolutely pummel the shit out of him, because what can he do? And I'll drop these here, so if he tries to run out, he's going to get slowed down. And that's, for some reason, oh, he's taunted, that's why. He's taunted me, but I can rotate him round. That's his tag cock running, and then I'm just going to try and ram it, but it didn't want to. But as you see, I'm just absolutely murderizing the Eldar when I can shoot them, and he keeps stopping his ships. And if he wants to stop his ships, that's absolutely fine. Because when he's doing that, I can just leather the snot out of them. Is that 2 with engine damages now? I think that's 2 that I've... Then again, it's not showing up that it's got engine damage, even though I've just seen it. And he's got a surprise coming from this side. And he's just going to try and ram into him because that'll one hit kill that if I hit it. And there you go, look at the damage it just done to it. Just by the slightest little tap on its rear end. And these haven't got any shields up because they've come to a stop. So, this Eldar player is trying to brawl me. And that really isn't the way to brawl. Play Eldar, you don't brawl. I mean, look, your shields are dropping. It's come to a stop. So I'm going to target that ship. And look how quick that melts. Look how quick that melts. He's come to a stop. So let's target him. And he just dies really quick. And I'll boost into him to stop him running. Yeah, Nurgle ships do 3 DPS through armor, so there's no save. Each cloud 2.5k, 3 DPS to everything within it. So, you know, you drive into 4 Nurgle ships, that's 12 DPS you're taking. Ouch. Nurgle's overpowered, it needs nerfing. Stasis is overpowered, it needs nerfing. But I'm yet to meet what I would consider a competent Eldar player. And the way he played there, the stop-start, getting close, just no. But what other option does he have? He's got to get close to us, but he shouldn't be bringing his ships to a stop. Because you saw that second, I think it was the penultimate cruiser I killed, you saw how quick that melted. Once his shields dropped when he came to a stop, it just evaporated. And it didn't help that I think he was sitting in my the Nurgle cloud. And the one before that, yeah, you can't stop moving. There should be a command where you say to your ship, all ahead full, or forward, and it keeps moving forward. Regardless where you click, if it hits the point where you've clicked, it keeps moving. That would make Eldar, I think, easier to play. Not easy to play, but easier to play. Right, level 5 sticks, 3 level 10 carnages. I have got a fleet of transports. This game, as you've seen with my transport fleet, is now, I think, stacked more balanced. I might even go so far to say as the defender has the advantage in this because you can build your transports to run 50 speed faster, double combustion, double silent running, sorry, and using the combustion under silent running. And you can cover quite a large chunk of distance without being spotted. Certainly not the one-sided game it used to be. But let's see what this guy does. I'll tell him he's on Twitch, which may not be wise because I haven't got a time delay on this, so he could be sneakily watching what I'm doing. Although he is going to see all of my dots on the map anyway. So, let's figure out what I want to do. It's Imperium, but I want to get within 3k because it's Imperium and I've got Nurgle. The only race I don't want to engage at 3k is another Nurgle fleet that has, I think it's Devastators, or a Ork fleet with the big guns on them. Everyone else though, I want to close and I want to punch them in the face really hard. Which is one of the reasons I'm not a fan of the Eldar at the moment, because they make it very hard to get close, unlike that last guy I played who did make it very easy to get close. But against the Empire at the moment, yeah, the macro cannons do hurt, but the 3 DPS from the clouds make up for that. And there's a psychological effect of it as well, because it's unpleasant when you see all that green shit going on your ship, and even when it's not getting shot, you see all the health disappearing. So this is probably the transport ships, because he's got nowhere else to hide them, and depending on the level of the player, he will either have or will not have access to upgrades. But for transports, I think the standard is silent running times 2, 50 speed, able to use combustion while not revealing oneself. That's how my transport ships are made. Now, let's see what happens. Okay, they're 3 cruisers, or battle cruisers, or a mixture. But that's painful, that's coming at me, and that is going to hurt. But I'm just going to have to take that on the chin. So as always, I'm going to target their electricity power generator type thing. And as soon as I see the transports, I'm going to mark them as my priority targets. And there we go, we're targeting them now. Make sure I don't run into that mine. So there's a lot of mines about the place. Let's start stasising up his fleet because I don't want them slowing me down. A little bit of movement management here. And he's gone silent running with his transports over there somewhere. So I'm going to get a little bit closer. I don't want to get rammed by that. So, here we go. Right, my fleet is not responding. There we go. So his transports are heading over this way. So let's... Oh, he's just nuked my sensor range. I wondered why that disappeared. But as you can see, this green cloud, that's the dot. And all of his ships within that green cloud will be taking damage. Let's start doing some lightning strikes. Why not? You see he's going to try and slow me down. So I'm going to throw that down. And then I'm just going to plow through this. I've still got no sensor range on my sticks. Don't know how long that buff is going to be on until... Now that I've got his transport, I can chain stun these up. Well, he's got the time to reposition, but he's not very fast. And I'm going to queue up the attack orders. Actually, we'll go for him and we'll go nose on so that we drive through his fleet. Now that's stasis. I want to put another one there. Mine will run out first. And then I'll just cruise up to them and I'm just going to absolutely muller them. And there's pretty much fuck all he can do about this. As you can see, there's the next stasis going. We're going to turn, and then we're just going to start leathering. I'd much rather be inside that because my dot would work, both sides of my broadsides would work. But as it is, we're just going to drive past, and then we're going to come to a stop. And now I'm just going to tell my ships, do what you need to do. Get 3k, start circling, and we'll just start leathering the transport ships. Can ram them for shits and giggles because they're going to die very quickly. And now I can get in and start applying my dot. It is quite brutal and quite enjoyable, to be fair. But his transport ships have got, I don't think they had any upgrades on them, and that's not good. You really need to upgrade your transport ships. Otherwise they come to a very painful end very quickly. And it's like playing how it used to play, where it was heavily stacked for the attacker. But I'll show you my transport ships once I get back to the fleet screen. And I'm so happy they fixed the chaos engines so they're not blaring all the time. But, you know, 40 points for killing 4 transports, 180 for the victory, and then me bit bonus I always get, and the fleet upkeep. Some nice points. And that's again my transport ships. Their upgrades. Tooltip is wrong, it shouldn't say that. That was the wrong thing they put on it. But it still gives plus 50 speed. Special maneuvers will not reveal the ship. And the running silent lasts twice as long, and as long as you feather in the all ahead power, you can use quite a lot of speed and get quite a lot of distance covered with that. Again though, if they spot your transport ships, you're fucked. Data recovery attacker. He really, I think the best strategy for this is what I demonstrated earlier, where I just set up in the corner with the battleship at the back and was just, you know, singing "Come and have a go if you think you're hard enough." I think that's possibly the best strategy at the moment for this game mode. But I'll take the usual fleet. It is quite cheesy, but hey, you know, until the break, and I'm not going to scrub myself. Plus, I really want to get my sticks to level 10, although I'll probably get that done just in time for the wipe when release comes. Because if you're not aware, your multiplayer progress will get wiped when the game is released. Your single player won't. That's a single player skirmish. I'm not sure about the campaign, but as you only get a couple of missions in anyway, meh on the campaign. Multiplayer campaign might be fun. So if I was him, I would set up here. But I think that's his ship there. And I don't think I was supposed to see that. That might be a bug, but if that's his main ship, I'll understand why. So we'll set up, it's Imperium, so let's get close and do some damage to him. Again, brace for impact. 20% accuracy penalty for him and a 20% armor bonus for me. Set it to auto. The AI is usually pretty clever on when it switches it on. And as he's Imperial, I am also going to give him an Imperial insult. And then we'll start. Yep, that's it there. See the red dot? Even though it's hidden, I can still see it. Because that's always the data carrier or the flagship. Yeah, it's always the flagship and the data and the assassination missions. If it was in normal space outside of terrain, you would physically see it and you would see the model and you'd be able to get all the intel on it.
For the dark gods.
So I'm going to throw a couple of probes in. And for some reason, I was seeing that when he was doing stuff and I shouldn't be seeing that graphic, so that's a bug that needs reporting. I don't know why I'm saying that, but... And now what we'll do is we'll pin him there. Oh, no, I'll leave you as number 4. He wants to be number 1, and I'm going to target the generators because I really want to leather his ability to do lightning strikes. So I'm going to switch to 6k. Nose on, no, actually side on, because I don't want to get inside my bubble. We'll give him another bubble, and I'm going to have to stop my fleet here because they're getting far too close. And the idea is we're just going to leather them. Alright. I don't want to take the data yet. I can take the data, but I don't want to at this time. That's his tac cog running, and I think my two ships are going to hit each other. But what I want to do now is start moving up here. I want to pretty much kill him, but then I want to try and nail these so they can't steal the data. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set him as a priority target and switch him to number 2. And we are going to go in at 3k. And we're going to start moving towards him. But I don't want to move into my own stasis. And of course that stasis is nearly popped. So it's time to drop the next stasis. You can stop there. You can stop there. You can stop, you can stop. So now I'm going to concentrate on killing the other ships. I've got just over a minute before I need to steal that data because he can't jump out. Or if he does start to jump out, he's well within range. I'm not worried about that spam. It's going to hurt, but hey. What we're doing at the moment is we're just getting close enough to start hurting them. Now all the stasis is done. We're on 3k. We'll nail him because he's about to die anyway, and that stops him from stealing the data with that ship. Then we'll switch to this guy, and we're getting close to when we need to steal the data. And I'm confident with what I've got that even if he starts jumping, I can strip his shields. Plus I do believe you can use assault actions, which I'm going to test out. Which I'm going to test out now, actually. I should be able to... Yep. You can steal the data with assault. Now, he can steal that back. But that's up to him. I'm not too worried about that. Now we can steal it back. Because what we're going to do is he's dead. We're now going to move on to this ship. And that's the only threat on the board. Got no stasis up. He can't jump out, I can't jump out, but we're here to kill him. He's trying to jump, so what I'm going to do, I can't waste all my lightning strikes, because if I did, and I failed to stop him jumping, he would then be able to lightning strike and steal the data back off me. So I've got to make sure I don't do that. And when that dies, that's game over, even though he's got the escort, because the escort is incapable of taking the data from me. Yeah, that was pretty mean, killing all the ships. I didn't have to do that. But after fighting Eldar and watching them run about and spending 10 minutes just sitting with my finger up my arse, I want to see things explode. And the game is about blowing spaceships up. But, yeah, him coming out, oh, I got a level on my sticks, that's happy for me. Him coming out to meet me like that, I don't think is a way to play data. The data mission, you either use a very fast, stealthy ship and run, or you take the biggest, fattest ship you've got, park it in the corner, screen it, and play the teleporter game. Right, you're getting cooled down, and your upgrade is going to be what? Sensor or crit? Sensor or crit? I think my OCD is going to kick in here because they're the opposite way around. So yeah, let's sort my OCD out first. So what I'm going to do is unfit that. I'm going to have to unfit. No, it's going to be cheaper unfitting this guy, isn't it? Let's unfit that and put the deck. I'll put the cooldown. Oh, you see what I've done here, haven't you? So I need to unfit that, and then I can fit that. And then we can go for the sensors and give him some better shields. And then on this one, I can give him the fighters. The OCD is strong with this one. Yes, you see, that's all looking pretty. So, and I've spent some renown. Yay. Please let me spend it on other things, even if it was changing the skin in the dock, or if I could customize my captains, or even if I could put crew on my ship, or paint my ships, or spend renown on putting skins on the escort of Nurgle. That would be nice. Right. Breakthrough Defender, 300 points. It's going to be a pair of cruisers. And let's see what happens. Right, sorry about that, I just had somebody messaging us. So, auto them abilities, gives them a little bit more survivability. The recent buff where they do twice the damage when you ram them also helps. I'm going to place my 2 carnages down, and then what we're going to do, I'll keep them back, because I do like to stop people running away.
For the dark gods.
And I'll tell this chap he's live as well.
Command me. Moving to those coordinates.
Now, let's pop a couple of probes down.
Ready eternally.
Yeah, I've only got 2.
Just show us something to kill.
We've got the static probe. Right, that'll be going for me platform, which is fine, I don't care.
For chaos comes.
Alright, we're going to target his light cruiser first, and he's got a Gothic, possibly the worst
Gods.
ship in the Empire. And looking at his ships, they are low level, so this is really not. But because he's called AIDS Biscuit, I feel like I need to kill him.
Forward to the slaughter. For the ruinous powers.
So let's just get through there.
Ready eternally. Tear them apart.
Not sure what that is, but
Grace.
let's get in there and just try and leather this guy. Don't like his name.
We are unstoppable.
I think he's only going to get 1 ship to escape, so I need to kill a couple of them.
We'll follow your
I'll try and leave the Gothic for last, because that should be his slowest ship.
command me.
Yeah, the Gothic's by far the slowest ship he's got. Don't want to ram him because I don't want to take any unnecessary damage, but I want to get close enough so that I can put my dot on him. Oh, he's going to shoot his own ship. Oh, that was close.
Setting course.
Yep, he's just helped me there by nuking his own ship. The Gothic, the reason I don't like it is it's got lances with 6k range, but it can't compete with any chaos ship. So you're probably better running macro cannons.
Cruising speed set.
So I'm just going to drive either side of him.
Gods.
Let's get turned because I don't want to crash into you.
Cruising speed set.
Although we just did. Yes, you can totally do this.
Throws activated.
And now we're just going to cruise alongside of him with that horrible dot and just watch him melt.
Your orders.
You're going to stop. And then you're going to stop.
Throws activated. Tremble. For chaos comes.
And we're going to make you target number 1. I'm going to start shooting you now. Now I don't really care about ramming.
Unstoppable.
And apparently we are unstoppable. And am I going to hit the station? Oh, I just clipped this station and blew it up. That little bit that was sticking out the side. Not to worry. This ship isn't going anywhere anyway.
Moving to those coordinates.
So again, I'm just going to park either side of him.
Forward to the slaughter.
And that should hopefully
Only.
absolutely annihilate this guy.
Retros activated.
Yeah. It really shouldn't be putting me in fights or him in fights like that. I know the matchmaker's not turned on, but the quicker they turn the matchmaker on, the better. Because that couldn't have been pleasant for him facing, you know, a pair of level 10 cruisers. Yeah, that wasn't pleasant for him. I don't really think he could have won that not facing them ships. I also think skills and favours and that should add points. An idea was put forward that all ships, when level 10 and maxed out, cost their current points, and prior to that they cost less points or fewer points. Excuse me. And I think that's a good idea. So rather than costing the 250 for their battleship, it starts at 150 and then creeps up in price as you outfit it. And I think that would be a good way to help balance the game, because them level 10 carnages are pretty disgusting, and well, any level 10 ship can be pretty disgusting. And when you throw a favour on it, a favour can, if it's the right favour on the right ship, it can make it so much more powerful. So let's see what we get this time. Assassination, and I am the attacker. We'll advertise in there that he's on Twitch. Now, when that goes into game, you will see this chat box will still be active. So double tap enter, it gets rid of it, because you can't click through the chat box when you're in the game. So we'll take my level 6 sticks, because I want to get him up a level or 2. And then we'll take the 3 carnages. You'll notice I've got some different names on them. The Cool Hangman's a name I started using in EVE Online for my Vindicator battleship, and that's kind of stuck on my flagship because I like the name. I've always liked it. It's also the name of my Imperial Clipper pirate ship in Elite, and the other names are piratey type names. So, you know, we've got some ye olde pirate ship names on my ships. I'll have a different naming convention, of course, for the Imperium when I start naming them. And Eldar, I wouldn't know. I would say go have a look at my YouTube channel and you'll see my Blood Bowl 2 team, that's Elf. We're doing a daft Elf interseasonal league, waiting for the next season to start in the league I'm playing. And we decided to do an Elf only league. And they've got some very rude names because I have no respect for elves, whether they be space elves or not. I just don't like elves. But my Imperium fleet will have a much more probably British sounding fleet. Although I'll probably be going with the Saratoga for my main carrier, because in Starfleet battles I used to play the ISC, and I used to use the ISC strike carrier, and that was called the Saratoga. And that was because of Space Above and Beyond, the old TV show, where the aliens invaded and they lived on the Saratoga, the humans. But here's a chat box. You can see it's up, and I need to just enter, click on the screen first, enter, then enter again, and that goes, because that chat box you can't click through. As you can imagine, when you got your powers and everything in you can't click on it, and it's quite annoying. So we'll do the same again on this. Drop you down there, one in front. I press redeploy like a complete cock. Right, let's do that and put you there, and then put the other ones in the little gaps, so they're all nice and tight together. Because they're a friendly bunch, Nurgle. That's why they're always trying to come up to people and give them a cuddle. They're just heavily misunderstood. Again, with it being an assassination, I really don't want to use my lightning strikes, because if I get to him and the timer runs out and he tries to jump out, I need my lightning strikes to stop him escaping. You know, I don't want, was it Princess Leia talking to Vader and Grand Moff Tarkin? I don't want them slipping through my fingers as I tighten my grasp. Now, it doesn't matter where it places the ship, it is going to appear as a brief red dot in either of these. If it's in the open space, I will see it clear as day. I'll be able to target it and select subsystems. But if he places it in one of these, it'll glow and then disappear. Which is why, if you don't want to fight on these missions, you use a stealth ship and you don't activate stealth straight away. And he's put it in the corner. Oh, sensible man. And he's gone stealth. So, he was heading this way. He might continue this way, or that might have been a bluff, and he may have U-turned it. So, we will start probulating, which is a technical term for firing a probe. And now what I need to do is I need to spread my fleet out, because I need to try and find this dude. And this makes it more difficult for me as the attacker, because if I do find him, will I have the DPS to take the data off him? There's the rest of his fleet hidden in there. And if I do have the DPS to take the data off him, will I be able to stop him taking it back off me? Now, this is where my piloting skills fail. I'm going to go straight into one of these, two of these. Out! Alright, there he is there. His silent running has run out. So we're going to head that way. Let's get the bombers in the air. I'm not really worried about that, but what I'm going to do is head this way. Hope he's talking to that ship, that's fine, you may do so. And now I want to identify him. And it's an escort. I have been tricked. So, could he be in there? So he's very, very cleverly baited me there, and now I've only got 88 seconds to find him. So that is what I've now got to do, is figure out where that command ship. Now I know which one it'll be. It'll have the flagship icon up here.
Command me.
So I'm going to charge into there. You're going to charge into there, and we're going to try and see,
Show us something to kill.
is his flagship in here? No. So his flagship could be there, or that is not it. Nope. So let's try and find this flagship. So we are pretty puzzled at the moment,
Ready eternally.
and I'm feeling that it's done a sneaky run over this way. And I've only got 40 seconds to find it. I think that was his escort exploding. So now I need to keep an eye on the mini-map, because I need to see a little red blip appearing. I also need to keep my eyes open for any fire coming off his ship.
We have sighted an enemy ship.
Still not the right ship, but I have fired probes about. This makes the game mode quite interesting, because not often I come across somebody who's being sneaky. And now he can warp out, and there he goes. I can hear him, and where is he?
Brace.
I can hear the damn thing. There it is there. So he played that really, really well. Bit of deception with that escort. So he would have had that escort in the gas cloud or the asteroid belt. Senti's flagship was there initially. It would have went all the way across the back, silent running, boosting, while his escort went to where it was. So when its silent running ran out, I would have thought that's his ship, which is what I'd done. So that was really well played. I do like the cat and mouse in that mode. But it's not often I get to play somebody that does it, or that does it as well as that chap did. Alright, 700 points. It is battleship time. Another chaos player, so I will start at range. Depending on what his fleet is, will dictate whether I want to get close and personal, or whether I want to stay as far away as possible from him. But let's get in there and see what we're offered. It is a nice looking battleship when it's not covered in tentacles and gunk. Mind you, I did like the original Imperial space battleships. They were quite nice too, and the Eldars looked like tall ships. So station, set it to defense, auto set the little outposts, set the station as control group number 2, because I want to be there to spawn shit. I get mines, which really only bother simple players, because you really shouldn't run into a mine. But some people don't pay attention, and they do run into mines. Let's put that as a corridor there. Put that one just inside. I don't know, will they show? Actually, I'm going to try something. I'm going to try putting them just on the edge. So hopefully he won't get to see them, and we'll careen right into them. Now that would be a giggle, and then I'll do the same here. I'm going to tell him he's live on Twitch TV. Right, now let's place my ships standard formation instead of the sticks. We have the battleship, and depending on what he's got dictates whether I want to go and find him or whether I want to sit back. Now it's much more enjoyable going and finding him, but I'm going to sit for a moment. Don't think he's bothered. Right, let's have a look at his fleet and see what he's got. Some people just want to watch the galaxy burn. Right, let's get some fighters. You want your fighters out. And let's start taking a look at his fleet. He's quite well spread out. So I'm going to pick on the guys over here and let this guy do what the hell he wants over this way. Let's move my battleship up so I get a bit of fighter cover, but it probably won't be enough. So that's going to be his battleship there. So let's have a go at his battleship. There we go, battleship. Let's move in towards it. Okay, you want a stasis? I'll throw a stasis down too. I'm hoping he's just outside. Oh, he's wasted his teleport. And that has a nice cooldown of 180 seconds. So, I'm happy with that. You can move up, you can move up. And in a moment, that stasis field will drop. So we can all move and we'll take this guy on here. Oh, he's going to burn another stasis. Oh, we're just going to plow through it if they actually want to do so. He's wasted another jump, so we can now start moving in and know that he can't run away. Oh, just outside. My lead ship is getting the absolute snot kicked out of it by his battleship. But let's go for the slaughter. And we're going to go in at 3k. And he's Nurgle too, so it's going to be a bit of a... Come on. They're going to come to a stop, and this guy is going to suicide in, but he got his lightning strike off. Now I'm a ship down here, so I need to rectify this. I should be getting some escorts up. I'm going to try and pull him back, and these guys are stuck on that asteroid, so let's get them round. And I really need to start doing some boarding actions, because this is quite painful at the moment. But I do get 3 escort ships, which I can spawn in now. And I'll get these moving. And what we'll do is we'll get them on their 3k. But my main fleet is absolutely getting murderized. So I need to get back to the station and make him try and come into me. And my battleship is having a field day, busy smacking itself off a big rock. I've nearly got one of his ships down. He's lost his engine, so he is going to be very slow. So let's get this group moving, and let's go for some ramming techniques. Let's see if we can get close enough. A lot of torpedoes coming in, but we're just going to slam into him. And then he is going to go for him. The idea being, let's try and ram him before we die, because I might be able to kill this guy. Oh, the DPS is painful off Nurgle. And then he might have the speed, or may not have the speed to catch him. Nope, he's dead.
Your orders.
My battleship is still stuck over here in serious pain. So I really need to try and get him back
For the
to here.
gods.
And then I crash my cruiser into an outpost, which isn't very clever.
Speed set.
So my battleship's going to get absolutely screwed over here, because his battleship is in a much, much better position. He doesn't have the fighters, but he does have the bigger guns.
Eternally.
And unfortunately, that little cruiser survived. And it's another 40 seconds before I can get my ships up. And I really don't want to take him
Coordinates.
by himself into that fight. So what I'm going to do is tell him to park round here.
Ship or else.
And I need him to get repaired.
Just show us something.
Now if I can catch that battleship in there. But my battleship is, as you can see, absolutely toast.
Our flagship. It's been torn apart.
So he's got quite a few ships to now deal
Cruising speed set.
with just really my station, and I've got to hold out and try and get these escort ships in there and do damage with them. Which is what I'm going to try and do now. So these escorts are hopefully not going to hit the station. And what I need is I need to hit one of these and hopefully break it so that his entire fleet decides they've had enough and they run away.
Ruinous powers.
Otherwise, I have totally lost this. Well, as you see, he's got decent range on these, so he can sit at range, but the station will shoot him back. But the idea is we are going to run at him.
Moving to those coordinates.
Because ramming speed, this can be quite good.
Ready eternally. Retros activated.
And here we go. Let's see if he's got his jump back up. He's going to try and cut me off, so I'm going to slow down, let him zoom past.
Changing command.
And then we're just going to try and ram him and utterly fail.
Tremble, for chaos comes.
So my little escorts have done nothing.
Setting course.
And of course with the speed of him and his Nurgle dot, it's going to be very unlikely that I'm going to get close enough to him to do any damage.
The ship is taking hits.
Which means that I've just totally wasted that escort group.
We are unstoppable.
But that doesn't mean I can't try
We'll follow your command.
to hit him. Oh, so close. Hopefully he crashes into himself, but I think he's too good for that.
Chaos comes.
But yep, that one's dead as well. So now I've just got to wait
Just show us
for them to respawn.
for the ruinous powers.
And he's just going to sit and slowly leather the shit out of that station, because that station just doesn't quite have the range.
For the dark gods.
And if I try to get close, that cruiser's going to die as well.
Tremble, for chaos comes.
Because he must have the range bonus. Yeah, he's got the range bonus on it, which beats the range of the station. It just doesn't quite have the range to hit him. It does if he sits right where he is, as he's right on the edge of the circle.
Your orders.
But as you can see, my cruiser is about to get absolutely annihilated.
For the ruinous powers.
So he's dead.
Set engines.
I'll be very surprised if he can make it out of here. And there you go. So now all he's left to deal with is just to sit at range
For the ruinous powers.
and kite this station. Because there's very little the station can do to him.
Tear them apart.
So what I'm going to try and do now is just try and inflict some damage on this battleship. I was running the Desolator before, but I swapped it out
We have sighted an
for the
enemy.
carrier.
Our station is under assault.
Yep, didn't do enough damage with that. But the station's sitting quite pretty at the moment, and he's got 9 minutes to kill it, and I'm fairly confident that he will be able to do that, because again, as you can see, he's sitting there shooting it, and then blue circles, so it's got, what, a couple of lance batteries that can shoot at his ship. The fighters don't quite have the range, and I've got to wait 100 seconds before I can respawn stuff. So he really does have the option now of just closing in on the station and killing it. He's got the firepower to certainly do that. But it's not often I've went up against these battle cruisers here. But that was quite an interesting battle. Just having a look at what these guys actually have. Has he gone for... yeah, see, he's fully damaged. Yeah, and he's got that so he can double the crit chance. Not double the crit chance, double the length of time he gets to crit with it. And as I was saying, he's got plenty of time to destroy that. It took him a minute and he's half killed it already. But he's certainly got the strength to come in and kill it. And I'm presuming that's his one... is that one Nurgle ship he's got? Yeah, so he's got quite a nice little mixed fleet there. He's using Slaanesh. Quite an interesting fleet build he's got there. Lots and lots of damage and lots of long range. But that station isn't going to last another 7.5 minutes. Mind you, I've got a few seconds and I get some escorts. And then we'll do another suicide run. Because the only hope I've got here is to cause his
For the ruinous
battleship
powers.
to decide that it doesn't want to fight anymore because it's took too much damage. But even then, he can always cancel its orders. And by now, the teleport power is up.
To those coordinates.
So we'll turn around and avoid that. And then we'll charge. We'll charge in at this. Slow him down, give him a bit of a lead, and then come in.
Our station has suffered heavy damage.
And you see my station's reporting that it's suffered some heavy damage. Let's charge in. I'm not going to be able to do the... I think it's 30% damage you need to do.
Setting course. Tear them apart.
Because once you do 30% damage, the ship will do a morale check.
Moving to those coordinates.
But he's going to teleport out probably just as I get there.
We've come for your souls.
Apparently I've come for his souls, but I don't think I'm going to get them today. And there you go, that little escort is going to explode now. I see my station has virtually got nothing left. And the only thing it's shooting at him is its lance batteries, its 4 lance batteries. Which has got 1 on each side of it. So that is about to die. Well, that was an interesting fleet composition he had there. Totally not brawler. That's probably a more traditional Chaos fleet in that he's built that for keeping it range and using the lancers. Just waiting for this screen to go. and then we'll move on to the next one. We'll see how many points it's going to cost to fix my fleet, because everything got wrecked. So 200 for him, another 100 on him, 100 on him, and 100 on him, and that's the fleet back up and running, and the renown is still ridiculously high. We need something for renown. Okay, I'll do a data recovery, and I'll hide in the corner like I have been doing, rather than taking the stealth ship and running around. And we'll see what this chaos fleet is. Alright, again, we're just going to pick a corner of the map, and we will just park ourselves in the corner and then let him come to us and try and play the teleporter game. So I'll set my fleet, set them aggressive. I'll leave them at 12k, and I will tell them to stop because I don't actually want them to move. Actually, I don't want that on automatic. And now we'll see what he brings. Very pretty.
Command me.
Fire a couple of probes off, get some eyes on him, get some fighters up. And of course, once he gets within 12k, my ship still turn to broadside him.
We have sighted an enemy ship.
Okay, we can see what he's got, so we're gonna go through them and target all of their transporters. Okay, he's got the long range as well, but I can deal with people at 12k. Mind you, he should have 15k on that, shouldn't he, with the lancers? Yeah, 15k range on that, so he can sit a lot further away and tickle me and try and beat me that way.
Show us something to kill.
But he still has to come close to get the data. For some reason, he's gone silent. He may try and sneak through the asteroids, but that would be very silly.
Your orders.
And here come the bombs, which putting yourself here makes you totally vulnerable to them. There's nothing you can do about them.
We have sighted an enemy ship.
You've just got to sit and take them to the face.
Tear them apart.
Never like hearing loud explosions. I'm not too bothered about the escorts because they can't steal the data, whereas all of his other ships can.
The dark gods.
And he's hurting himself in there. But as you can see, light cruisers do take a bit of a slapping while they're in there. Escorts take a massive slap.
Mind and body.
Everything else that's bigger just giggles when it's flying through an asteroid.
Command me.
Well, I'm going to leather these escort ships while they're here on the hopes that people might want to start running away when they die. Just going to catch him. Yes. Now I don't know. Oh, his damage is going down. Oh, he's teleporting out. That was interesting, watching his damage go down. Looked to be going down the same speed as normal, even though he was in stasis. So it could be quite painful getting stasis in an asteroid belt. But he's doing this with his second ship. And I don't know why, when he's got all this empty space here, he's putting his ships through there. I mean, yep, he's got the shields down on the battleship, which is the right thing to do. But now he needs to get in and grab the data, but anything he sends in is going to lose its shields. He has to come in one big lump and just plow, knock these out the way and grab the data. So he's took the data, and straight away I will just take the data back. He really should send the whole fleet in, and then he would have had another ship to take it. Or if he had used a ship with teleport, he could have came in, hit the teleport, micro warp jump. Oh, there, see, that's the insubordinate for losing the ship. He could have hit his micro warp jump, and just before it fired, hit teleport, and he would have stole it, jumped out, and I wouldn't have been able to catch him. So he's took the data again. This time I'm going to see, do I have anyone close enough? Not yet, so he needs to wander in, and I'll take it straight back. That nearly worked for him, but he was just on the edge of the transport range of these. And ideally I want to keep the data at the back, but I wasn't in a position to do that there. And of course I've also got the taunt power, and if he hasn't set these at range, if he's left them at the defaults and the defaults are low, or he's set them low and I taunt it, I'll pull it back in towards us. But he should have either sat at 15k and stripped me and hurt me and forced me to come out the corner, or he should have just barreled in like a lunatic, micro warp jump, and just as it's about to fire, grab the data. Now he's going to come for the data, so I need to strip his shields, which I'm going to do before he jumps, and then take the data back. Now I can jump out with the data, but I'm just going to kill that. Should be able to get it before it jumps. I don't know what happens if the ship with the data explodes. I don't know if that counts as a victory for the other player or not. Or if the data just jumps to the next person's ship. But we've got the data, so we'll hit our warp. I got a bubble, there's nobody about. So that's the game. But there's no... You can't do half measures on this game mode. You've just really got to get in there and be aware of the teleport game. But it's past 2000 hours, so that is me for the night. Thank you all for watching, and I will hopefully see you on Saturday. So thank you and good night.